I've been trading with FTMO for nearly 2 years and closing in on that 100k payout with them. Currently had 70 in terms of the certificate, and time of filming this video I've got another 20k pending with them, which sits me at 90, so only 10 away from that 100k mark, which is a milestone that I've always wanted to have with FTMO. Now it's funny because in this 2-year journey I actually started as a profitable trader on my own personal account, failed over 20 challenges with FTMO, and then my final straw was actually losing a 21k payout and blowing the 2 funded accounts, and then realizing that what I was doing was wrong. I had too much of an ego, over trading when I was revenge trading because I didn't respect the money. And then now 2 years later, closing in on that 100k, nearly up to 300 to 400k in terms of total payouts and 2.5 million in 1 month on total funding. So in this video, what I'm going to be doing is talking about 2 years, my experience with FTMO, my experience of the 2 years in terms of the prop firm industry, what you can learn from this, what you can apply from this, whether you're new to the prop firm and thinking, should I trade prop, should I trade my own money, or if you're already trading prop, just trying to get a little bit more advice and a little bit more energy and understanding in the prop firm industry to be more profitable. So let's get to the video. So first things first is what I want to say is from the past 2 years, I've really understood that FTMO stand above waters across in comparison to any other prop firm, and I'm not paid by them. They don't even have an affiliate account, I don't think, and not even that. I just generally think that FTMO, and I always say it like it is, so if you're new to the channel, I always say it like it is because I've got nothing to hide, and I think that a fact is a fact. You can never sugarcoat it. It can be an opinion to some degree, but there are certain things that are just fact, and the one of the biggest fact I want to claim is FTMO is number 1. I'm not paid by them, I'm not sponsored by them, and the reason I claim this and why I say this is because they haven't really had any denied payouts. That's number 1. Number 2, they operate in a whole different manner compared to the whole other prop firm industry. Out of about 20 firms that have shut down in the past year, they have nothing that's gone bad with them. You don't really see any denied payouts in terms of, you know, the Twitter drama and all of that kind of stuff. I've traded for them with the past 2 years. Now I have got a few issues what I'll talk about later in this video. However, they're not major issues and they have solved them sometimes. And not just that, they've pretty much been around for nearly 9 years and had no trouble. So if you have to look at that compared to the other firms who lost 1 year, 2 years, and me personally, I was owed over 50k. That's right, $50,000 in payouts earlier this year due to all of these firms shutting down. FTMO can be a very easy choice to trade with. Now, let's go to some of the cons before I go into some of the pros, and then I'll finalize with some of my experience in terms of FTMO compared to the rest of the prop firm industry. So, to start off with some of the cons. Now, the thing is, FTMO is very, very expensive in terms of the rest of the market kind of pricing. So, for like a 200k account, they're nearly sitting at like $1,300. That's right, $1,300 for a $200,000 account. So, if you compare that to CK Capital, for example, CK Capital have it nearly just only at $1,088, which is $300 cheaper, plus CK Capital run at like a 50% discount, so $600. That's right, so you're comparing $600 to a whopping $1,300 for the same challenge. Now, not only that as well, the challenge at FTMO is actually significantly harder. There is a 10% profit target and then a 5% profit target, and now they have implemented new rules, for example, like a 1% maximum in terms of risk per trade. They've got some consistency rules, which is not the same as the industry standard consistency rules, but they do have a little bit of a gray area when it comes to the consistency rules. As opposed to something like CK Capital, they've literally got a 7% profit target and an 8% drawdown and then 5%. So it's a lot easier in terms of phase 1 because there's 3% that you literally have to make less of. So if you compare CK to FTMO, CK is half the price. You have 3% less on phase 1, but at the end of the day, FTMO is FTMO, and it goes to some understanding is like, it's branding, right? Do you know what I mean? Another major con that I find with FTMO is because it's such a well-renowned brand and because it's so strong in the prop firm industry, their customer support has got worse over the years. And I believe that they got worse over the years because it's kind of one of those things where, you know, when you're at the Titan or when you're at the King of the Hill, they kind of don't really care anymore. And the reason I say this is because I've actually experienced some of the slippage, and they've actually slipped me. I feel like they can call it market conditions, but ironically, every time it's close to the limit, which is my fault for trading close to the limit and just to kind of hold my hands up, they slip me, ideally either on purpose or they have something to make sure that I break the threshold and lose the account. And what I mean by that is basically I've got a stop loss, and let's just say the maximum loss I have is at $10,000. I then put my stop loss at $9,700, for example. So I got 300 buffer, or even $9,600, right? So I've got, no matter what, if it hits my stop loss, I have a buffer, there's a $400 kind of leeway, I shouldn't hit the daily limit. But what I found, and this has happened on 4 occasions, is it will pretty much just wick past it with no news, no nothing. And also in the other accounts that I've had, it doesn't slip this much, and it takes me past that $10,000 mark by like, $7 or whatever it is, just enough to breach me off of that funded challenge. Now, it can be hearsay of me saying they did that on purpose. It can be me saying that, it's in those limits and they've got a system and they see it is close to that and it's high risk and then they take me out on purpose. Well, whatever the scenario is, it kind of sucks for me, but at the same time, there's always 2 sides of the coin. I believe that that's my accountability and I should trade with less risk. But what I'm saying is this is still a con, and I still want to make it aware, because it happened 4 times. I went through it with them, and in the past, they actually did review it, and they did actually say, look, you know what, that is a little bit ridiculous. We're going to give you that, basically that $400 back, and then you can carry on trading that account. Whereas now they literally do not care, which I understand because a lot of people are probably requesting it, and then just shift off my account and I have to buy and then start again. So the good side for me, and this is from my personal thing, is it makes me more of a conservative trader. But on the bad side is, for those coming in the industry, you're going to experience this kind of stuff, and it is incredibly frustrating. Just like when I first started off with TFT, their spreads were ridiculous and they were doing it on purpose. So that's why I never traded with them. And the funny thing is, the one time I did, I was due a 15k payout and then they went under, but now they're trading. So if you want to watch that video, you can go and check that out here. Ding, 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 after this video, of course, where I literally talk about them coming back, and it's kind of a bit of a scam still, but let's see if they actually pay anyone out. Right, one final con, and it's a double-edged sword, and I'm talking about in the pro section, is again the branding. I find that the distancing, because they are number 1, they don't really work on the development of themselves to work kind of closer with us as the traders. Now, I know that they've got the prime, I know that they've got the quant lane, but they haven't released any new challenges, they haven't released any community things, they haven't done any meetups, they haven't done anything that's for the traders or for the clients, you know what I mean? As opposed to, say, back last year there was loads of community meetups, and even like, say, CK Capital, they've got an example of a meetup that will happen next year. There's a lot more developments, they've got game nights, they've got so much interaction, because trading is incredibly lonely. And that, the fact that they just don't kind of care about the community, if you've been on their Discord, is very dead. It doesn't really entice you to kind of be part of their community. The only thing that entices you is because they are the number 1 branding, they've got a strong reputation, and you want to trade with them. So with that being said, let's go on to the pros. Well, the most important pro, which trumps the whole entire video, is they have paid me out every single time. Now, I have had a few warnings here and there, and to be honest, all of those warnings are pretty fair, but in an experience, is FTMO are number 1 for a reason, is because they pay out, they've got a very good system, they basically stop a lot of cheaters, which I found out at CK Capital. There are a lot of people who cheat in the system. Now, for those who cheat the system, really and truly, you are cheating yourself, because trading is a skill set, and if you cheat this and say all the prop firm goes, you will never have a means to make money anymore, because you cheated a system which no longer exists. So that's why I don't really believe in it. I do see that people make a lot more money. It is very easy, but it's also easy to make money doing things you shouldn't be doing anyway. Regardless of that, FTMO have paid me out every single time. They've pretty much paid all my friends out that I know that trade with FTMO, including my students as well. And Jan recently got 400k, and I think he's done nearly up to 10k worth of payouts within the past 6 months. That's right, it's insane, right? And he's only been trading with us for a year. So that being said, I want to quickly plug, if you do want to learn from me or kind of be part of the trading, we are going to be releasing the course in the end of December, so during the New Year period. There's only 100 spaces, so the waitlist link is down below for you to fill that out. I'm filming the new course, so every time I do this course and I do the drop, I'm filming it every time. So number 1, it's fresh. Number 2, you get to kind of learn from me and my mentality and my state, because I find that each time I teach is very different. The strategy is the same, but the psychology is a little bit different. Now, the fundamentals of the strategy is going to be the same for you guys in and out, now, but in terms of the new content will be the psychology, in terms of how I'm managing the money. And this is great because every time I film this, for example, 5 years ago, a couple of $100 or a couple of $1,000 was very normal for me, but now, you know, a few days ago I hit a 20k trade, I've got another 10k trade. Like, they are my norm. And in the future, next year, I want to be doing a futures company, I want to be doing $1 million next year. So every time I'm filming this and as I'm leveling up, the course is going to be leveling up too. So if you want to apply for that, link in the description below. It's basically is very, very affordable. It's only $299 and you can apply for the waitlist and first come, first serve. I know we're going to sell out because we sold out last time. So if you guys want to do that, waitlist down below. So to continue with this is that all of our students have got paid out on FTMO. I've got paid out of FTMO, and I think that's probably the most important thing in terms of the branding. Now, as earlier when I said, another big massive pro is the branding, even though it was a double-edged sword, but they're number one for a reason. They've been around for nearly 10 years now. We're coming at the end of 2024. So 2015 was when they were established, and now it's 2024 coming to 2025, depending when you're watching this. That's nearly 10 years. So CK Capital is only 1 year. We've got all the other firms which are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. In terms of the other two companies that were really big was my Forex funds. They are under CFTC, you know, investigation, and TFT, which is, you know, one of the biggest rug pulls that has happened this year, regardless of what they've tried to do at the moment. So it's very interesting to see that out of all of this noise and all of this prop firm community, FTMO have stayed in their own lane, done their own thing, and become number one. That's not to say other prop firms aren't rising, but I'll go into that a little bit more detail in terms of other prop firms we could potentially suggest or what you can look into, because like I said, you know, FTMO could be very expensive for those who are just starting off. Another massive pro is FTMO are pretty much very renowned in terms of their platforms. They've got MT4, they've got MT5, they've got CTrader, and they've also got some other platforms as well, which I'm not aware of because I only look at MT4, MT5, and CTrader, which is what I use. Now, if you did or didn't know, earlier this year, pretty much MT4 and MetaQuotes and MT5 were reduced from pretty much 90% of the prop firms in terms of grey labeling, which only really left a handful of companies to have MT4 and MT5, and FTMO were pretty much unaffected by this because they have their own broker. They also, another massive pro alongside of this point here, is they've also got a prop firm who they are partnered or acquired with. So not only the journey of this retail prop firm that we have is passing the challenges and getting a payout, is if you are consistent with this, they have an opportunity for you to become a prime and a supreme member, which therefore leads you to potentially have a career with a quant lane. Now, quant lane is the old traditional proprietary trading firm, and what that is basically they do give you the allocation of the money because you've got a proven track record which you've built from the simulation and the retail side of it, and from that you can get an allocation of, you know, a couple of million, whatever the allocation that matches your strategy and your confidence in terms of to manage how many you have in terms of funds. And last but not least on that, you also get a salary, and there's pretty much this actual professional job in terms of working for a prop firm or a hedge fund in terms of that route, which is a very professional route, and no one in the industry is doing that. Now, as much as I want to sing the praises for CK Capital as well, and they have the vision, it's not yet been done. It can be all hearsay, and I know I love CK and I'm part of it and whatever it may be, but actions speak louder than words, and FTMO have actually brought that to light, and I know CK want to, but once that's happened, and then it's important, and then it's actually there. So the final massive pro of this is obviously the peace of mind, and I think that that's something we cannot buy. Peace of mind comes with, look at me, I got owed over $50,000, right? So if you want to basically trade and know you're going to get paid out, and you know you've done everything right, then essentially FTMO is the one. Alpha Capital, one of my students and one of my teammates who've got funded with them, have to wait 4 weeks to do some sort of interview, which I'm totally not aware with. And yes, Alpha Capital may be big at the moment, but the 4-week wait for an interview to get funded seems somewhat ridiculous. I'm not really a fan of it. They do a lot of pros, a lot of cons, and if that's the way they got to do it, then that's the way they got to do it. That's their company and that's their way. However, to me, that makes no sense. Maybe it's something I don't understand, but FTMO haven't applied that, nor CK, nor have the other prop firm. This goes to show that, you know, FTMO are very seamless. They're number one for a reason. It might not be number one for in terms of the prop firm for you, but a massive summary is, don't forget, you don't have to just trade with one prop firm. I believe that you should have FTMO in your portfolio, but alongside with a load of other firms as well, such as CK Capital. Speaking of CK Capital, if you want to go and grab your challenge, there's literally up to 50% discount down below, and we have a massive Black Friday sale, depending on when this video comes out, which is 30% off, and then you also get another challenge for free. That's right, another challenge for free once you've passed phase 1. So that's one want to mean again, FTMO don't do any of these types of promos, whereas company like CK have that ability to do, because they have to be innovative in terms of growing in the space. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and the last but not least, I want to go through in my experiences and the best things about prop firms. Prop firms are life-changing. The entry barrier is literally only $500 to $1,000. Even in futures, it's $80 to $100. And you have the opportunity to 10x, 20x, and do whatever it is you want to do. So if you want to do that, I encourage you to go and learn. Consume more of my videos. That's right, Dan Chung. Click on the YouTube channel and watch it now that this video is coming to the end. And that, if you believe it, is not just me who you're watching who's done 6 figures in payouts. You've got other people who've done 7 figures like Kyle. You've got many people who are regulated like Burn. Comey, if he was to do it, he would actually smash all the prop firm challenges as well. And there are other people in the space who have done multiple 6 figures, 7 figures, 5 figures, you name it, they have done it. So if they can, that means you can too. And I've interviewed tons of people on Instagram showing this and showcasing the possibility. And this is your sign. That's right. If you've watched this far, this is your sign to go and cop a challenge, become that trader you said you're going to be, and put the work in. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Remember to put your application down below on the waitlist, and I look forward to seeing you inside of my community. And then also Happy New Year for when you do join. Peace.